Please welcome Managing Director, EMEA, AWS, Tanuja Randri.
Good morning. Wow, this is a packed house. That's how we like it. Good morning, and welcome to the AWS London Summit. We're delighted to host you here today. I know time is precious, so thank you for making it, and I'm sure you're going to have a wonderful time. We've got an exciting agenda, speakers from around the world, our customers, our partners. The London Summit is a real bellwether of innovation in the UK. People come here, customers and partners, to learn from each other. This is a learning conference to share experiences on how cloud can transform your businesses, your industries, and of course, address society's biggest challenges. We have a very impressive lineup, 110 sessions and lightning talks featuring 60 partners and customers. There's something here for everyone, by the way, from serverless to machine learning, to cost optimization, to security, and of course, innovation. And speaking of innovation, it's very easy to innovate in good times. Much harder to do when investment is hard to come by. But what we see leaders do is they double down and sustain that pace of innovation, particularly when times are uncertain. This is when you need to dig deep and go for the most transformational ideas. And that's what separates the leaders from those who fail to stay ahead of the pace. There is no time for data and decision making. No one slows down for that. And what we'll see is the separation the cloud does. It magnifies the benefits, particularly in uncertain times. Why? Because of the agility, scalability, resilience, and innovation and efficiency that it can bring for you. We have continued to invest in the UK. In Ireland, we put our first region in 2007. In 2016, in the UK, our region, as you know, is 3 availability zones, and we have now 24 edge locations as well. Last year, we announced that we would invest $1.8 billion into the UK digital infrastructure and into digital skills. And you're going to hear today from a number of our customers and partners on how they're leveraging the AWS cloud, our analytics and data solutions to actually transform their businesses. For the UK, the cloud represents a $413 billion opportunity. That's how much the UK economy could grow by 2030 in value by embracing the cloud. However, we aren't accelerating fast enough. Only 30% of businesses use AI technologies, and only 17% of businesses use big data. How do we accelerate? We need to join together IT and businesses. And the best way to do that is to power industry, business use cases with data and analytics, putting data right at the core of how you work and operate. And actually, generative AI, the big buzzword out there, generative AI is going to spur business transformation. It has the potential of augmenting, accelerating, and automating all aspects of your value chain across all sectors. It is not only a better search engine or a chatbot. It is way more than that. And it can impact supply chain, forecasting, marketing content creation, collaboration, sales processes, marketing funnels, research, and analytics. You're going to hear a lot more from Swami about generative AI, so I will leave it to him, and he's going to tell you about our unique approach on addressing this space. Let's take an example of how our customers are transforming their businesses using data and analytics. The Very Group is an integrated UK retailer, the largest actually UK integrated retailer, and they've been leveraging Amazon SageMaker, I know many of you probably know this fondly, as well as Forecast, to be able to manage an inventory of over 500,000 SKUs across 2,000 brands. And they've been able to increase their revenue 26% by doing that. Plus, and really importantly, a 33.9% point increase in their NPS. And we all know how important that is. But moving from the traditional to the digital is not easy. And it's actually not a matter of technology, it's a matter of skills, the culture of innovation, the operating model, the mindset that you bring to the table. We've been investing in digital skills. A survey by New Vantage Partners would suggest that 92% of senior executives believe organizational barriers are the biggest. 85% of workers after the pandemic believe digital skills are critical for their employability. We are investing in digital skills. We have committed to training 29 million people for free by 2025. That's hundreds of millions of dollars so that we can actually help our customers in this space. And we have everything from programs that inspire the next generation. Get IT, I'm very passionate about this. I'm judging a panel next week on this. Get IT, 12 to 15-year-old students, especially girls, trying to get them into STEM. Restart a classroom training program that is focused entirely on the underrepresented, underserved, and underemployed communities. And of course, the AWS Skills Guild, where we work with our customers and partners to help them reskill their employees. And let me give you the example of IAG Group. They created a program called Click, which is about creative learning in cloud knowledge. And they engaged a number of champions, by the way, around their organization to get people to really enter this program of training that we developed with them. 2,000 people attended their leadership sessions, 500 people trained. And what they do say is they're way more innovative now in their use of data than they were before we did the training. And of course, sustainability. This is on the top of all our minds, and we see it every single day in terms of the impact on the environment. We are very, very committed to sustainability and supporting your migration on the net zero journey. And in fact, we did a report with Atos. 77% of the people that we interviewed said that they could accelerate their net zero carbon journeys by 2+ years by moving to the cloud. The cloud is more sustainable. We actually did some research with 451 Group that shows that the Amazon cloud is 5x more efficient than the average European data center. And we've made a commitment to powering our global operations with 100% renewable energy by 2025, which is 5 years ahead of what we committed. So in a blink of an eye, you can transition your average workload and get a 96% carbon emission reduction when you move to our cloud by 2025. And that's our commitment to you and to the world, because this is something we have to go solve. And let me give you one example, Gusto, which is a UK food retailer. They use our data and analytics in the cloud to provide their customers with carbon impact insights. So for example, choosing minced chicken versus minced beef can lower carbon emissions by 80%. And that's the way that we are enabling our customers to be able to make more empowered decisions and to enable customers to make more empowered decisions. This is my favorite quote: "The cloud has significant potential. The UK is superbly well positioned. We are continuing to invest so we can enable your journey. The time is now, and it is time to accelerate." I want to thank our global sponsors who've made it possible for us to deliver today. We couldn't do it without them. I also want to thank our Emerald, our Diamond, and our Gold sponsors and Platinum sponsors for their support. And a special thanks to our Silver, Bronze, and ATP sponsors as well for making the summit possible. And now, I'm super excited to hand over to Swami Sivasubramanian, VP of Database, Analytics, and Machine Learning from AWS, who's going to share his experiences on how we are enabling you to transform your businesses and reinvent your industries with the cloud. Thank you. Welcome to Swami.
Please welcome Vice President of Databases, Analytics, and Machine Learning at AWS, Swami Sivasubramanian.
was truly inspiring to hear the massive momentum here in London. First of all, thank you all so much for coming here today and giving me the chance to speak with you. A lot has happened in the last year. But with all this change, we have an opportunity to reevaluate, enhance, and optimize the technology that supports our business and that supports our success. I also believe it's time for net new ideas. There are sparks of invention that enable us to solve complex problems and reimagine how things have been done before. And when you're backed by the most innovative, transformative technologies, you can bring these sparks to life with the best platform. Let's look at a timely example of a transformative technology that has been gaining traction today and capturing all our imaginations: generative AI. Generative AI has captured all our attention for its ability to create images and videos, write stories, and even generate code. I believe it will transform every application, every business and industry. But with so much potential, why is this technology, which has been percolating for probably many years, if not decades, seeing suddenly so much interest right now? It is because this technology has reached its tipping point, the convergence of various technical progress and the value of what it could accomplish. With massive proliferation of data and massive availability of compute capacity, thanks to cloud, and the advancement of machine learning technologies over time, generative AI is finally taking shape. In particular, these ML innovations have made the capabilities of generative AI possible just within the last few years. For example, traditional forms of machine learning allowed us to take really simple inputs, like numerical values, and map them into simple outputs, like predicted values. Then, with the advent of deep learning, we could take complicated inputs, like documents, images, and videos, and map them to relatively simple outputs for lots of different use cases. And now, with generative AI, we can leverage massive amounts of complex data to capture and present knowledge in more advanced ways, mapping complicated inputs to complicated outputs. But it's not about the data being complicated. While the underlying inputs can be really complex in terms of what is your intent, or it feeds in an input. But that does not mean the interface for machine learning needs to be complex. Because with many of these complex machine learning models now, all it takes is a simple natural language prompt. Plain English command is probably going to be the new programming language. These stepwise improvements in functionality are supported by stepwise improvements in the underlying technology. Let me double-click here. Traditional ML models used architectures that required really months of costly and manual data preparation, data labeling, and model training, all to produce a model for one specific task. However, the large models that power generative AI applications, these are called foundational models, are driven by transformer-based neural net architectures. These cut down the development process significantly. This architecture enables models to be pre-trained on massive amounts of unlabeled data so that they can be used for a wide variety of generalized tasks. And they can be easily adapted for particular domains or industry with relatively small amounts of labeled data. This process of customization is called fine-tuning. The ability to customize a pre-trained model through fine-tuning is a game changer. It's substantially faster, requires less computation time, and requires less data for fine-tuning than creating task-specific machine learning model. So while it used to take multiple scientists a long time, months if not a year, to produce multiple models for different tasks, now we can use one big model and use this fine-tuning process to accomplish the same goal. So when we think about how our customers will use these models, we see a pattern emerging across 4 main modalities. First one is creative outputs like blogs and images, video, code, and even creating marketing copies. The second functionality is what I call as enabling functionality, to do things like better backend processing for automated document processing, improving search relevancy, better personalization, and so forth. The third one is reimagining customer experiences, enabling things like interactive experiences, meaning Q&A or chatbot applications for domain-specific learning. And the final one is decision-making support, or applications that automate complex tasks with human oversight. This modality is the most revolutionary and has potential to drive immense value. But regardless of this modality, the biggest value for customers is leveraging generative AI for the use cases. At AWS, we know there are a few things that need to happen to get this right for our builders. The first one is that we know model flexibility is paramount, as there is no one model that's going to rule the world. It's about choosing the right model for the right job. Then you need the ability to securely customize these models with your data. That is the most important step here. Next, easy-to-use tools are critical for democratizing generative AI within your organization and improving developer productivity. And underpinning all of this technology is the need to deliver responses with really low cost and low latency, which is made possible with purpose-built machine learning infrastructure. And now we are delivering all of this to our customers through Amazon Bedrock. With Bedrock, customers can easily build and scale generative AI applications with a selection of industry-leading foundational models, all with a simple API, and you do not have to manage any infrastructure. Bedrock makes it really easy to privately customize an ML model for a specific task by simply pointing to a few labeled examples in your Amazon S3 bucket. All data in Bedrock is encrypted, and the customer's data is never used to train the original base foundational model. You can configure your VPC settings to access Bedrock APIs and provide model fine-tuning data in a secure manner. And when it comes to foundational models, we believe in offering you the best in class and providing you the flexibility for various use cases. With Amazon's Titan foundational models, customers can use 2 different large language models for text summarization, open-ended Q&A, embedding, search, and many more. Claude, Anthropic's LLM, is built with latest research on safety and AI systems to perform conversational and text processing tasks. Bedrock also offers Stability AI's Stable Diffusion models, which is capable of generating unique images, arts, and design. And we also offer Jurassic 2 LLMs from AI21 Labs, which uses natural language input to generate text in a wide variety of languages. Now, let's dig into the Amazon's Titan foundational models a bit more. Our Titan FMs are pre-trained on data sets that contain large volumes of information from a diverse set of data sources, thereby enabling customers to incorporate broader context and generalize really well across multiple domains. Remember, the power of these foundational models is because you do not have to build one model for each and every task individually, except these generalize so well that you can adapt these models with just a few examples to apply to your use cases. Now with Titan FMs, they also support responsible use of AI by rejecting inappropriate content in user inputs and filtering the model outputs for things like hate speech, profanity, and violence. In addition to ease of use and model choice available within Bedrock, we also have a long history of offering customers a wide selection of FMs in SageMaker Jumpstart. Jumpstart today provides open source models for a wide range of use cases to help customers get started with machine learning. Customers with ML expertise can access these FMs from leading AI companies like Cohere, Hugging Face, and Lighton. Providers like Stability and AI21 love what they saw with Jumpstart and were excited to extend their offerings on Amazon Bedrock because it is further easier to use with very little need for managing infrastructure. With so many choices in Jumpstart and now Bedrock, let's explore what it looks like to put one of these FMs into action. A massive part of what makes generative AI so impactful is its power with simplicity. In a few simple steps, you can take a prompt, add in any relevant context, feed it into a model, and get an output. These 4 steps is all it takes to put these into action. Users start with a prompt or a plain language question or a task. In this case, the prompt is about asking what steps can I do to retain a customer. Next, you add context, which is like additional data that is relevant for this task in hand or for the prompt. This can include additional or supplementary data that provide critical information required for generating the end product. Then you select a model. This is all about choosing the right tool for the right job based on the type, prompt, and size of context data, size of the modality of the data the customer asks. Now, when you put all of these together, you get the output, which can be used directly as is or start a series of downstream actions. But now let's move beyond just a high-level example and showcase what is possible with generative AI. Let's put ourselves in the shoes of a product and marketing team using Bedrock to create the assets needed for the new product launch. We start with Bedrock, where customers get access to a broad range of models to solve their problem. And now, first, we will need a product description. Our designer has come up with the high-level details about the product, including the materials and features. So I feed those details as a prompt to Anthropic's Claude model to generate a detailed product description. As you can see here, we see some great feature explanation, like the breathable fabric, high-grip sole, enhanced visibility at night that meet our requirements. Now, we have a photo of our shoe shot in the studio, but we need a better photo for our product page. Now, let's see how our Stable Diffusion's image-to-image model can help us stage our shoe with a background in London. OK, that looks great. But we are definitely not done. For our product launch, we will want a tweet that contains relevant social media copy. Let's see what AI21 Labs can do to help us here. Perfect. Those look good to me. Now, and at last, no web page would be complete without some good search engine optimization terms for SEO page ranking. Here, we can pass our entire product description and tags into Amazon Titan's text model and ask it to generate a series of key SEO terms to include in the page metadata. There we go. So what I have shown you here is just in a very few quick prompts, the teams could leverage the best possible model for each task from Bedrock to craft everything from product description, design iteration, social media copy, SEO optimization, and so forth. And it all started from just a short, simple product description. And that is the power of generative AI. And you might be wondering, saying, like, do I need all these models for doing all of this? Why can't I pick some of it? Of course you can. But the example with the idea with these showcases that the model choice is really important so that you get to pick the best tool for your job. This is just a taste of what Bedrock is capable of today. While Bedrock is the best way for customers to quickly get started using FMs, we're also looking for more ways to leverage generative AI across a wide variety of our services to make them even easier to use. And one such example is our quest to improve builder productivity. Amazon Code Whisperer, our ML-powered code generation service for developers. Code Whisperer is very unique that it generates code recommendations from plain language prompts based on contextual data information, such as developers' prior code and comments, and comes in with built-in security scans. And it is the only coding companion with its built-in security scan can do hard-to-detect code vulnerabilities. And with Code Whisperers, developer can write a simple comment, something like write a Lambda function to parse an event and send a security alert under certain conditions. Now, Code Whisperer supports more than 15 programming languages and can generate multiple lines of code or even entire functions. So during our preview in Code Whisperer, we ran a productivity challenge that showed participants who used Code Whisperer were 27% more likely to complete their task successfully and did so 57% faster on average. This includes customers like Accenture, Coach Industries, and SmugMug that are using Code Whisperer to increase productivity and improve overall performance. And Persistent, a global digital engineering leader, is committed to leveraging the service across its 16,000 engineering organization to accelerate legacy modernization and deliver rapid value. We encourage you to try it here today in Summit in one of our jam sessions. Best of all, it's free for the individual tier. Now, we're just getting started with these kind of applications. We will continue to invest in making AWS the best place to harness the power of generative AI, whether you're building applications with FMs or using our generative AI-powered services. But making the most of generative AI requires so much than just tools alone. A successful generative AI strategy requires a strong foundation of time-tested infrastructure that can support the massive scale, power, security, and reliability needs of enterprise applications. I believe our deep investments in silicon, price-performant ML infrastructure, and security and resiliency are why AWS is uniquely positioned to help our customers accelerate their adoption of generative AI. Over the last 5 years, AWS has invested in our own silicon to push the envelope on performance and price performance for ML workloads like training and inference. Whether customers are running foundational models, building them, or customizing them, they need infrastructure that is purpose-built for machine learning. Our EC2, ENF2, and TRN1 instances, which are powered by our custom-built accelerators, offer the highest performance at the lowest cost for these deep learning workloads. For example, ENF2 instances deliver up to 8x lower latency and up to 40% better price performance than comparable EC2 instances. For example, Sprinklr's unified customer experience platform. They use natural language processing and computer vision machine learning models to analyze public data from social media posts, blog posts, and video content across more than 30 channels. Because they generate 10 billion predictions per day across 500 plus models, Sprinklr migrated their entire ML infrastructure on top of EC2 instances. And they reduced their latency by 30% while significantly cutting down on their costs. With purpose-built ML infrastructure like Inferentia and Trainium, innovative services like Code Whisperer, and a wide selection of foundational models available in Bedrock, you have all of the right components to create your generative AI applications. However, this is just one of the many applications we support. We know our customers have a wide variety of needs based on their use cases, which is why we have created the best place for you to turn your sparks of ideas into reality. To build the right applications for your business, you need access to a broad selection of capabilities, the best price performance, and reliable infrastructure to deliver a consistent experience. AWS has over 200 services to support virtually any application, more than any other cloud provider. We offer the deepest functionality in key service areas, right from compute, storage, networking, databases, to machine learning and quantum technologies. Take Amazon EC2, for example. We now have over 600 options for you to choose from for your EC2 instance. So you can find the perfect combination of compute resources like CPU, memory, disk, and various others to match the specific needs of your applications. But EC2 is just one of the many ways and compute options we offer. You can use our containers-based orchestration service and choose from either Amazon ECS or EKS. Or you can go completely serverless with Lambda and Fargate so that you can focus on building your application without having to manage any infrastructure. To enable the best performance, we also designed our own processors, starting with Graviton, which today delivers the best end-to-end performance and energy efficiency. We are now on our third generation of Graviton processors with AWS Graviton 3. Customers of every size and industry are already achieving up to 40% better price performance by simply shifting their workloads to Graviton-based instances. All of these capabilities are built on top of our global cloud infrastructure that you can depend on. AWS Cloud spans 99 availability zones with 31 geographical regions around the world and over 410 points of presence. No other cloud provider offers as many regions with multiple AZs that are designed with the highest standards for resiliency. For instance, each region has multiple AZs, and each AZ consists of one or more physical data centers, each with their own power and separated by kilometers to isolate their risk profiles. So if you want to turn your ideas into reality, there is no better place to do it than AWS, whatever type of application you are building. But don't just take my word for it. I want to invite one of our customers to share how AWS is helping them achieve their goals in the cloud. Please welcome Renee Hunt, CTO, Compare the Market.
I am Alexander, founder of CompareTheMeerkat.com. For Compare Meerkats, come to CompareTheMeerkat.com. Simples. My own fur and blood. And he's he's a wombat. Uncle Alexander! You're grown.
Hello, everyone. We are in a cost of living crisis. After more than 35 years in technology, I can say that what me and my team do every day is truly making a difference for people navigating this difficult time. I'm the CTO of Compare the Market, the one with the meerkats. We are a leading price comparison fintech. At Compare the Market, we exist to make financial decision-making a breeze for everyone. We do this by providing customers with a place where they can enter their data once, and we return the products they need to buy anyway at the cheapest price possible. Ultimately, saving them money, and those savings are dearly needed during a cost of living crisis. Now, what I love about our fintech is we don't make any money unless we can save the customer money. We're also a B2B. Our technology matches customers to our business partners. We serve as a highly effective sales and conversion channel for them by bringing new customers to them through our site. Now, while it's tempting to think of what we do as just a form on a web page, it's what happens behind that form that is way more interesting and far more relevant for why we're all here today. Delivering savings for our customers and introducing quality new customers to our partners requires high speed, high volume, scalable, secure, and highly available infrastructure. Couple that with the ability to safely store, transport, extract, transform all the data at speed. And we do this for 27 different product verticals, for hundreds of partners, and tens of millions of customers in real time every day. Our long-standing relationship with Amazon Web Services is how we make that happen. Now, in 2009, Compare the Market was a startup, and we were founded by a fairly traditional insurance company with a pretty traditional stack. All on-prem, all in-house, mainframe as standard. Bliss. But completely unfit for a super cool, fast-growing, digital-only business. My predecessors were early adopters of a concept called microservices. Back then, AWS was the only credible choice for our microservices architecture and our cloud migration. Our initial iteration was onto classic Amazon EC2s, including automation and scalability. And it was super successful. As we grew, it scaled along our growing business. And as we grew, so did our AWS estate and all the load balancing necessary to manage it. We're talking circa 5,500 plus load balancers. And yet, most of that estate was underutilized and running at what was for us then a pretty high cost of operation. We worked with our team at AWS, and we thought maybe managed Kubernetes could be a solution for us. In 2021, we ran a successful proof of concept with Amazon Elastic Kubernetes Services. Now, my team are in the front row. I'd love to tell you that we moved swiftly on to Amazon EKS, and it's been happy days ever since. But the competing priorities of a market-driven business pushed it to the back burner. Now, in October, my leadership team and I committed to making migration to EKS our top priority in tech. And this is the part where I was going to say, Tony, we're going to do it by the end of the month, right? But he called me yesterday because we completed it yesterday. Come on, guys, we completed it yesterday. Now let's talk data. If tech is the engine for price comparison, then data is the fuel. To allow Compare the Market to grow at pace, we adopted a federated architecture, which meant that different products and services could grow at different speeds. Now, this posed some interesting problems for data, specifically BI and analytics, which wouldn't be solved by the traditional relational products we all know and love. As such, we were early adopters for Amazon Redshift. The main reason for us then, flexibility. We needed its scalable, optimized storage and powerful query capabilities to unlock valuable insights from our massive but unruly data sets. Dealing with all that flexibility, we took the lessons learned and completed our next data platform in early 2022. And for that, we adopted the newer Redshift Ri3 instances. From a cost and performance perspective, this was the best option for us. And it's also allowed us to use some of the newer features like Redshift data sharing and data masking, which are so important for our data science teams. And we were also one of the first companies in the UK to move on to Redshift serverless. Now, what started as a migration for us has turned into a right tool for the right job, as we're still getting value from our initial investment in Redshift, as well as driving faster speed to market with our new Ri3-based data platform. They work really well together. Our relationship with AWS and the adoption of Redshift has made it faster for us to deliver quality products to our customers by giving our engineers access to the right tools. Now, what does the future hold for CTM? Well, like many organizations, we've slowly gained all the clouds. But AWS remains core for our customer and partner-facing activities. We are in a cost of living crisis. However, the work that we do at Compare the Market every day, enabled by AWS technologies, means we can help, and we do help. Simples. Thank you.
Thanks, Renee. Thank you, Renee. It's amazing to see the value, what our customers can realize when they move their data to the cloud. I strongly believe that data is the genesis for modern invention. To do that, we believe our customers need an end-to-end data strategy that allows these new ideas to form and flourish. And by working with customers across all industries and various sizes, we have discovered at least 3 core elements of an end-to-end data strategy. 1, you need a comprehensive set of services to meet your data needs now, but also in the future. 2, you need solutions that integrate all your data sources so that you can easily access it no matter where it lives. And 3, you need the right governance strategy so you can free your teams to move faster with their data. Let's first dig into the comprehensive set of services. We offer the broadest and most complete set of purpose-built databases that are tailored to specific set of use cases. And we are continuously adding features. For example, we recently added Amazon Keyspace's multi-region replication, which provides active-active replication across the regions of your choice. We also announced a serverless option for our AWS database migration service, which allows you to automatically scale your cloud resources and self-tuning to optimize your database migration process even further. I'm excited to share that more than 1 million databases have now been securely migrated using AWS Database Migration Service with minimal downtime and 0 data loss. That same approach of breadth and depth is true also in our analytics services to help you derive more value and more meaning from your data. We pioneered cloud analytics with the launch of EMR in 2009, as we did with Redshift for data warehouses in the cloud, and Kinesis for streaming, real-time data streaming and processing for our customers. And finally, we offer the broadest and deepest set of AWS ML capabilities at every layer of the stack, right from optimized versions of deep learning frameworks and infrastructure to services like Amazon SageMaker that makes it really easy to build, train, and deploy ML models, to AI services with built-in ML capabilities like Amazon Transcribe and Amazon TextRec. Organizations like Bundesliga, Germany's National Football League, uses AI services like Amazon Personalize and Amazon Recognition to deliver real-time statistics and to recommend personalized content for their 500 million global fans and partners across multiple channels. Now, for the second element of an end-to-end data strategy, how do you integrate all your data sources? When you can connect the dots between your data sources across departments, services, on-prem databases, and third-party applications, you're able to not just see part of the picture, but you're able to see the complete picture of your business and then garner rich insights. Now, when it comes to talking about combining data from different sources, there is a phrase that really strikes trepidation into the hearts of developers and data engineering teams, and that is ETL, which stands for Extract, Transform, Load. Now, this is a critical part of building data pipelines, but these pipelines and building them is not easy. It can take days or even weeks to build and maintain them. And that is just simply too slow to keep up with the speed of decision making today. That's why we have been working to build these integrations across our services to make it easier to do analytics and ML without the need for individual developers having to deal with the complexities of ETL. These integrations eliminate the need to move data for various important use cases. But we think we can do more. What if we could eliminate ETL entirely? That would be a world we all love. This is our vision, what we are calling a zero ETL future. So you can quickly and easily connect to all your data and act on all your data. As part of this vision, we previously announced that Amazon Aurora will support a zero ETL integration with Amazon Redshift, our cloud data warehouse, so that you can bring your transactional data in Aurora and actually instantly get analytical capabilities in Redshift. For instance, even if you're doing like 1 million updates a second in Aurora, in near real time, you should be able to do all the analytics in Redshift. But this is just one example of our vision behind zero ETL. We will continue to make investments in zero ETL to make it easy for you to connect to all your data sources. Now, let's take a look at the final element of end-to-end data strategy, governance. So if you look at the history, governance was historically used as a defensive measure, which often meant locking down your data in data silos within your departments. But in reality, the right governance strategy should help you move faster and help you innovate faster with well-defined guardrails that give access to the data to the right people when they need it and where they need it. But creating these right governance controls can be extremely complex, manual, and time-consuming. It's just filing a ticket and making sure someone approves it and reviews it and whatnot. That's why we are investing in changing how data governance works in the cloud. For your data lakes, lake formation, helps you govern and audit your data lakes in Amazon S3 with row-level and cell-level permissions. For machine learning, Amazon SageMaker helps you with all ML-related governance, right from onboarding users with the right credentials to actually ensuring you get the right model calls for your data. And for end-to-end data governance that manages data across all your services, we recently announced a preview of Amazon Data Zone. Amazon Data Zone is a data management service that supports the entire data discovery, access, and usage lifecycle with a complete visibility and control over how the data is being shared and who authorized it. Data Zone is in now preview, so I encourage customers to give it a try. Now, with this new unified interface and the rich UX, data teams will have the freedom to innovate faster with your data in a responsible and secure manner. All of these services that I touched on today come together to form your end-to-end data strategy, which enables you to store and query your data from your databases, data lakes, and data warehouses. Act on your data with analytics, BI, and ML tools, and catalog and govern your data with services that help you centralize access controls. With such a comprehensive set of services, we can meet you where you are in your data journey, from where you store your data to the tools and programming languages that you use to get the job done. Now, I'd like to invite one of our customers to talk a little bit about how they are using their data to transform their business. Please welcome Will Cavendish, Director and Global Digital Services Leader at Hadoop Group.
Thanks very much. Great. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. I'm absolutely delighted to be here today at the AWS London Summit 2023. My name is Will Cavendish, and I'm Arup's Global Digital Leader, as Swami just said. At Arup, unfortunately, we don't produce really cute meerkat marketing videos, so I can't seduce you with a couple of cute pets. What we do, and what we are, is a 20,000-strong, member-owned company working on all aspects of the built environment in 90 countries around the world. That means housing, property, energy, water, highways, rail, every aspect of the built environment. And our mission is really simple: to shape a better world. And that mission is ever more important because those of us who work in the built environment understand that we face many profound challenges. We face the need to provide equitably and fairly for the needs of what will be 10 billion people living on this planet in the next few decades, meeting their needs for energy, for transport, for water, for prosperity. It's likely that 2.5 billion more of our people on the planet will be living in cities that have yet to be built, provided, constructed. Equally, in many parts of the world, what we already have in our buildings and infrastructure, we need to cherish, repurpose, preserve in a way that we've never done as a sector before. Traditionally, we've demolished and rebuilt. We now need to conserve, preserve, reuse, and repurpose. But most importantly, we need to live within the planetary boundaries of carbon and nature. We know we've already used 80% of the carbon budget available to the world if we're going to meet a 1.5-degree trajectory. And this is from a sector that contributes at least 40% of the world's carbon emissions. And we also know that nature is in crisis around the world. Again, this is from a sector which is implicit in that challenge. Thankfully, though, across a wide range of areas, we're seeing digital solutions developed that are providing a step change on the pathway to net zero and regenerating nature while meeting human needs. And at Arup, we think one of the most promising avenues, one of the most promising areas available for us is harnessing the power of machine learning on remote sensing data, Earth observation, satellite data, newly available, to provide better solutions for our people and for the planet. Let me give an example of work we did in Shanghai. Shanghai, a city which suffers from inundation, flooding, hurricanes, causes immense damage to the city. The city wanted a better solution, and it asked for one. But the traditional solution to solving that problem would be to build very, very expensive and carbon-intensive concrete piping underground that takes water from where it arrives to where you need to ship it. We decided to do something different. We took satellite data, we interpolated that satellite data at the patch level, and we used machine learning to train and identify micro-features of the landscape and the makeup of the city. Different types of urban environment, different types of roads, different types of habitations, different types of industrial settings, small-scale parks, and so on. And we used those to design a better and different kind of solution, one that used nature in a better way. We designed a system that used blue and used green and used grey interventions together, small-scale catchment areas, micro-plantings, permeable pavements that provided a nature-based solution to the problems of Shanghai that we believe, and we estimate, saved 30% in carbon, 30% in cost, but also provided a more livable, breathable set of solutions for the city of Shanghai. And we've now done that work in a number of other cities around the world. It's sometimes called sponge cities or nature-based solutions, using the power of satellite data and other data, the power of machine learning, to design better solutions for our cities by being able to operate at a much more granular level and design in nature solutions into those cities. So around the world, we find that the potential for that is enormous. We've done work on 12 cities. Less than half of the potential of nature-based solutions, now enabled by the new world of data and ML, is yet being used. So enormous opportunity to design our cities in a way that is lower carbon and better for nature. Likewise, we can use data and machine learning to design investments and programs that promote nature. At the moment, we're designing an orbital forest around the city of Tirana to tackle the excess heat in the city, to improve air quality, to provide a place for families to play, actually, and generally speaking, to improve the quality of life significantly in a city like that. Or equivalently, using, again, satellite data, remote sensing, machine learning to promote urban gardens in a city of Mexico, vitally needed for fresh fruits and produce for the people living in those parts of Mexico, but also lowering temperatures, providing green space in a city as large, as complex, and as challenging as Mexico City. So that's why recently we've been delighted to be working with Amazon SageMaker Geospatial to develop these approaches and these solutions still further. For example, in our first work together, we've developed a solution to tackle the urban heat island crisis. You'll all be familiar with this. In the summer, our cities are getting hotter and hotter, causing health stresses, indeed excess mortality in so many cities around the world. Problem for our public services, problem for our businesses in functioning. So we've created a platform built on SageMaker Geospatial that allows, at a very local level and citywide, to identify the temperature differences as a result of the urban heat island effect. Create an urban heat island index to make those differences very, very visible to decision makers and residents and businesses, but also understand what could be done about it. The vegetation options, the green spaces, the tree canopies, the building emissions, the transport emissions, albedo, which is basically painting everything white, which can effectively and cost-effectively reduce urban heat island effects. And you can see an example up there, which is actually just around Arup's headquarters here in London, of the very, very local and specific and detailed ability to make those interventions and do that analysis using these little hexagons that are now available through the power of large-scale data and machine learning. Likewise, we're working with Amazon SageMaker Geospatial to measure and support biodiversity net gain. In this example is a piece of work we did for East West Rail. We used satellite imagery to produce a map of habitat distinctiveness at the route optioneering stage. We then can produce those baseline maps of habitat distinctiveness at a very, very specific level. We can calculate and quantify biodiversity scores for scenarios and interventions. We can monitor biodiversity outcomes, but also provide the platform for biodiversity net gain improvement, and including financial mechanisms that need those robust and clear data to invest in nature. So we're finding that the relationship with AWS and utilizing Amazon SageMaker Geospatial is allowing us to operate at a different scale, both geographic and temporal. It provides easy access to open data and proprietary geospatial data, a critical mix, visualization tools for data, built-in operations, pre-trained machine learning models, and open source libraries. And that's bringing us in Arup, and through our work together, really significant benefits. Reduced time to process these complex multi-year city and district catchment scale data. Reusable models for classifying cities, infrastructure, catchments, habitats, and others. And critically, abundant and clean structured data to support innovative machine learning solutions. And what that's allowing us is to bring the power of geospatial data together with the power of machine learning to meet people's needs through lower carbon mechanisms, nature recovery, therefore really improving people and the planet. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you, Will. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Will. What a great story. To close our time here today, I want to share how crucial it is to empower your organization with the right knowledge and skills to fully embrace a culture of innovation. There is a lot to learn at this summit. You'll see sessions that dive deep into many services that can help you cost, but also build net new ideas and drive growth for the future. You will also hear from other customers like you and discover the ways they are using technology to improve their business. I encourage you to spend the day exploring and learning and to build on top of our innovation. Thank you.